Welcome back, my lords and ladies, to The North Remembers, Episode 7, Eye for an Eye.
Take 2.
Yeah, Part 2. Version 2. We recorded it, but technology got the better of us. And we messed up anyway, so here we are again. But, so it starts out with Lena's funeral, because as you remember, the last episode of House of the Dragon before Driftmark, which was their name for episode 7, Lena died of giving birth to the baby. Well, attempted to, I guess.
Hence the black attire from both of us.
All black.
This was not
It was thought.
a coincidence.
Yeah, this
was on purpose.
Yeah.
And we're going to give a brief moment of silence for Lena.
Yeah, because she only made it to like 2 episodes. A lot of characters in this one, because of the time jumps and stuff. You're like, oh, cool, there's Sir Harwin. Oh yeah, there he's gone. Oh, Lena's getting pretty. It's like they're not even letting you fall in love with them like the last Game of Thrones and breaking your heart. They're just like, okay, you liked him a little bit. They're dead.
It's true. But we're going to talk about it later. I do agree with her mother about carrying on the Driftmark cat.
Yeah.
So we're at her funeral.
The funeral. So they are committing her body to the ocean because Valerians commit their bodies to the sea because that's their thing. Like Targaryens burn theirs with fire. Like it's that thing. So that was cool. Otto was right away back. No explanation, which I guess is pretty obvious. It was implied what they were going to do.
It felt
unnecessary.
Precedented by like when Littlefoot, I can't remember his name now because
Laris.
we just coined it. You coined it.
Yeah.
Good job. Littlefoot was like, yo, when was the last time you talked to your dad? And now that the new hand is gone. Mm-hmm. And when you see him in this episode, he's like pulling on his lapel.
Like, he's like all proud. Like, yeah.
Shining it off.
He's like, that's right. I'm back. You look at it, I'm back here to fix all this shit you people have been fucking up for the last 10 years I've been gone.
Right.
He's been fucking relaxing and back in Old Town. Now he's like, fuck. Well, at least I'm back.
Yep.
Probably the food's probably better. The service, definitely better. Then it's all them kind of just gathering. It shows Rhaenyra in this really cool, dramatic entrance, which you see in a lot of the trailers that you've been seeing throughout the promos and stuff. They've been showing her a lot that way. Well, this is the episode that it was from. It was the first scene they shot, so all that awkwardness and.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was the first scene they shot with the older characters or the first scene they shot
all together. Yeah,
at all, because they definitely shoot it out of order, and that's not a Game of Thrones thing. That's just very common. But like maybe they shot it like the second half first or whatever.
Yeah, just whenever time, or maybe even people's haircuts or. I would think that maybe, the most common thing would be like conflicting schedules, but I don't know what the hell else anybody is in.
Damon does go long hair, short hair, long hair.
Yeah.
So maybe he did when they were older first, when they were younger, the first part, and then cut his hair and did the middle part. Mm-hmm. But either way, she comes in this like dark hallway and immediately starts looking at Damon. Like she sees everybody that's
and he's
there,
just sitting, and he's sitting there and just. Oh, and by the way, there are 4 dragons circling about, just kind of like howling a tad.
There's 5 total there. I counted them again. There's 5 there.
There's 5 there.
But Vhagar's the main one that's mobile. And
she's the grandmother of dragons. She's the oldest. That's the big one with the fucking nautical reins.
Yeah, the green one.
Coolest one. Who is very important in this episode, though.
Yeah. Also, when he's saying
the funeral procession, like the eulogy,
doing into the salt and stuff, he definitely goes heavy into like she left 2 true-born daughters,
and it shows her daughters, which are obviously of the brown skin complexion, like the Valerians are, and they are showing that Damon's liquid paper white genes don't necessarily dominate So, and those are his kids. So, meaning a lot of people start looking at Rhaenyra's kids again.
Yeah, and there's some like stare down.
And he
with the
kinda
guy
pretty
who's
does-
saying it all in Old Valyria too. He's not
Yeah.
saying it in plain
English,
word.
yeah, playing where everyone can understand. I
Yeah,
think.
he's doing Old Valyria or Old.
So basically, the Targaryens, and I don't even know if Alicent would. I would imagine she could probably by now understand what some of it is.
Yeah, maybe. But what I want to get to is like at the end of like the blatant part of it before he goes back into normal energy. Damien laughs. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
In front of everyone, chuckles his ass off, and I thought that was on point for his character.
Oh yeah, he's kind of like making light of like, well, you brought him here. Like, what did you expect? You brought the only non-white-haired Targaryens to
And the whole
the
time-
party, and then you expected them to not say something.
Right. And throughout the whole time we're explaining any of these scenes, just picture Damon in the background leaning on something and smirking. He's
The whole time.
He has no cares.
He's not like, he doesn't look like somebody who's at the funeral for his wife.
Well, like the two times he's super serious is when he talks to Otto, which we know him and Otto have this fucking
Headbutt. And he doesn't like Otto. He doesn't trust Otto.
unspoken headbutt. And I think maybe he wanted to be hand. He mentioned
That's
it
why
at first.
he mentions that in the first episode.
Yeah.
So.
But and then the second time is when the beach scene is all I'll say, not the sexy
Yeah.
beach scene, the regular beach scene.
Yeah, but then it says basically the princess then starts after the little funeral. She it shows Rhaenyra walking around and she finds her son Jace, the oldest boy, and she's like, "Where's your father?" And he's like, "I don't know. We should be shouldn't we be in Harrenhal, mourning Sir Harwin and Sir Strong?" And she's like, "No, because that would not be appropriate." And he's like, "Why not?" And she's
So
like,
these
"Because
are
the
our kin."
Valerians are our kin, the Strongs are not." Okay, and that all kind of got brought up. Oh yeah, she's like, "You should go talk to your cousins. They're sad." And he's like, "Well,
Yeah.
I'm sad too, you know."
Yeah.
Because he knows, and she's basically like, "Okay, we know you know, we get it."
And we
Don't
find out later,
fucking-
like kinda everybody knows when he goes up to the
Yeah.
two girls after.
Yeah,
Like no words are spoken. He goes to like turn away almost like I can't do it, and she grabs his hand and she's like, I get it. Like we're all sad right now.
Yeah, they don't talk about it because they know they're not supposed to. So it shows the Princess Helena, and she's fucking doing her weird speaking in tongues shit. But I didn't pay attention to the first time she spoke. I did in this episode, and she says a lot of really cryptic, like we thought, seer kind of vision things. She says, I got it written down right here, where she says, "Spool of green, spool of black." And those are the Targaryen and the Hightower colors. And she talks about how
The hand turns the wheel.
the
of
hand turns the
spools.
wheel of the spools. And she has like a
Dragons of flesh weaving dragons of thread.
yes. And then she has a spider inside of a fucking seashell, and she fucking snaps it closed at the end.
And I don't know if she squishes it or just like
Holds
traps it.
like traps. It
Yeah.
looked like. Because she likes bugs. Because then it shows the brothers talking. And
Well, no,
Aemon-
hold on. It doesn't show. I actually rewatched it, and immediately when she slaps her hands closed, you see Littlefoot. And that's when Kristen walks up to the queen and goes, "He's been
staring at you this whole time. She's
Yeah.
like, it's just a proud. He's just proud because he's just
And I
been,
think
he's
her-
just been made the lord of
Yeah.
Harrenhal at his brother's and dad's death, which he caused. The creepy little fucking bastard.
True. But I think her defense of like, oh, he just became lord, like, that's just a look of pride. I think they actually might have something going on, her and Kristen. Because it seemed a little defensive the way that she was like, don't worry about it. Like, normally it's like, what does she have to worry about? Some guy's
yeah.
bad. Where
Well,
she's like, don't worry, I didn't give him anything. You
Well,
know?
maybe it's also he knows how she politically aspires, and he knows that much of it. Maybe it hasn't gone sexual or anything. Maybe it's that she's smart enough to realize the less people that know what I'm doing, the better. Like Kristen might be
she definitely
cool.
can't tie herself to his actions because he's the one fucking
Yeah, the last
doing
situation.
everything
Yeah,
crazy.
well, 10 years ago, he's the one that fucking made a scene. So
Yeah,
he's kind of on thin ice. Even if he's been cool the last day, I can fucking have his ass anytime I want.
Yeah.
You know? And so it shows Aemon and Aegon, and Aegon's just fucking irritated because apparently he has been betrothed to his sister in an attempt to avoid, by Alicent, in an attempt to avoid her daughter being married off.
I don't know about Allison because Otto's the one who suggested to
The other marriage, yes.
Yeah.
So maybe it was to keep it within the High Towers.
Yeah. Or
But-
just keep it like
Close. Not let Rhaenyra's kids get close.
like
You know,
don't
but-
bring in another family, just bring it, keep it in family.
Yeah. So it shows them talking, and he's just like, she's an idiot, and he's like, that's our sister.
Your
He's
future
like,
queen.
yeah, and he's like, you marry her.
Because
then.
they've obviously both been told that
That's what's gonna happen.
Rhaenyra's kids aren't fucking
Yeah.
worthy.
Obviously, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And they're just kind of, he's like, well, then you marry her then, is what Aegon says. And Aemon's like, well, I would, if Mother would have done it. It would strengthen the family. He seems to be the
As
one
a duty.
yeah, he understands the game at a
And how
very
it
much
works.
younger age than Aegon. Aegon's just like, and he's like, oh, I like things. We do have one thing in common. We both like things with long legs.
And he's switching cups.
Yeah, he's
And
like,
then he
fucking-
chases after
the-
her
the ba-
and
the
asks for
barmaid.
another cup. Calls her lunch and asks for another cup. So it's kind of an indication you'll see later on.
he's
becomes
kind
a
of
better
he's
drinker.
all about the party and like being. He's like Prince Harry to Prince William, except he's the older one.
He's like Tyrion, but not smart.
Yeah, and not
Which
as
is a horrible combo. 'cause
yeah.
Tyrion had smarts and drinking, and you take away smarts, and he's just
Oh yeah, and then he's
silly
a
fool.
without Tyrion's fucking political like game playing and
Strategic,
sneakiness.
Yeah.
Tyrion would have been a fucking dead motherfucker pretty quick.
Yeah. So Aegon might be.
Yeah,
Go
so
on.
Aegon basically is just run off, and he's all about the party. But Aemon seems to understand it's very important to keep the family strong, and he's kind of basically he gets it. He's smart and he gets it. He's quiet and weird, but he gets it. So then it shows the Queen Who Never Was kind of walk up to Rhaenyra, and they just kind of nod and like sad day. They don't talk, and then the Queen Who Never Was walks right up to Daemon and Elena's kids, and little boy Jace is there too.
So she kind of
which
pauses
is
and
her-
looks at him,
which
and
is
he
her
just
grandson
turns
too.
around. Like you can totally tell that she's just like
She's shunning him. She
she's
is
never
not
really
acknowledging,
been close with him.
and she is not acknowledging, even though that is her son.
Grandson.
Kid. Yeah, it's her grandson, and it's her son's son by all rights and image, public
And
image.
name.
She's just so fed up with all of this shit at this point, I think, that she's not even pretending anymore. She's like, my daughter's dead. I'm going to go talk to her daughters because they're fucking sad. This kid, I get it, he's sad too, but I don't have time to worry about him right now. He's not my grandson.
Yeah.
I know I'm supposed to pretend like he is, but right now I don't have the time
Yeah.
to fucking comfort you too.
Patience for extra effort.
Yeah, and it was kind of sad because the little kid just kind of looks down, and then it shows him and Aemon look at each other,
Across
almost
that brazier
fire.
or whatever, the fire pit.
almost like they would have a common
He was
goal.
about to say something.
Yeah, like we're like but
nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
comforting, but then they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't, and that is
That's
a
very
big,
Game of
a bit,
Thrones.
and a very big missed moment considering what happens in a few minutes.
Well, that's a very big miss moment, which is just a Game of Thrones thing.
yeah.
Two, like you almost and then just
One
like,
thing not said
Yep.
can fucking change the game that quick. Then it shows Corellis talking to the other little Rhaenyra's boy about how one day you'll be the Lord of Driftmark. You'll have my seat, and
Your brother will be
your
king.
brother will be king, of course, but
You're
you'll have this.
busy.
And the little boy's just like, I don't want nothing to do with it. And he goes, but it's your birthright. And the little kid says, if I'm the Lord of Driftmark, then you're all dead.
Yeah,
Then everyone's dead.
all the older folks, yeah.
So
everybody's
basically meaning that I don't want to look to the future because
Yeah.
the future means all you guys are
I'm not
dead.
excited for that day.
Yeah, because then I sure I get to inherit everything, but then everybody's dead, and that sucks. And I'm just dealing with death, even though I don't know because it's not really known if he knows. I think he's obviously doesn't, as it's explained later. He doesn't know that Sir Harwin was his father, but he definitely is saddened by the news of his death as if he was close. He's definitely closer to him than his own father. He
Which
knows
is kind
that.
of funny because Jace knows, but Jace may not be Harwin's kid.
That's true. That is if you look back, that is something. Good memory. If you look back at those pictures that we seen a meme on Facebook, it shows that the littlest boy, Jaharis.
No, Jace is the older.
I know, but I'm saying the
Lucas.
littlest boy, Lucas.
The smaller one has
the curly hair like Sir Harwin, as where Jace kind of has straight dark hair like Rhaenyra's first sexual adventure with Sir Criston.
Hey, first part.
And if you think about the aging, that kid is about 10 to 11 years old. So either he is Harwin's, and Harwin dicked her down right after the White Wedding, or she was pregnant at the White Wedding with Sir Criston's kid. And if it's Game of Thrones kind of shit and George R.R. Martin, I would hope that is it, because I mean, you got Jon Snow as the Targaryen, right? Came out as the Targaryen, right? So that would be you could see it very easily coming, and that would be epic, because he's been such a dick with like letting the kid get beat up and thinking it was Harwin's kid.
And
Pressuring
hopefully
Harwin.
there's a moment later on where he just finds out. He's like,
oh, fuck.
and he's even done worse. Because there's going to be another time, Joe. The kids are going to get older. They're going to be
He's gonna be a
bickering and
major-
fighting. Because later on,
Yeah, obviously.
words get said.
Oh yeah, and they're already at each other's throats here shortly. So then it goes. Basically, the party starts to wind down, and they start gathering up all the drunks. But before that, the king walks up to Daemon, who's again, like Dee said, just sitting there leaning, looking out of the ocean. And the king's fucking haggard as always, even more. No arm. Fucking walks with a cane with what arm he doesn't
No
have.
arm.
He has one arm missing.
It's not
Completely.
missing.
No, that fucking left arm is from here gone. When he's fucking hollering at everybody in a little bit, it's gone. From elbow down, that left arm is gone.
I'm going to rewatch. We'll see.
It's fucking, they've amputated it. So he's walking up with a cane with his one good arm, talks to Daemon. He basically just he's getting old. He feels his time is coming, I think, and wants his family together. So he walks up to Daemon and he goes, "Your girls are the spitting image of their mother, a blessing and an anguish. As I know all too well." And he goes, "The gods could be cruel." And Daemon says, in perfect Daemon fashion, the best line of the series so far, I think. He looks him up and down and goes, "They seem especially cruel to you," because he looks fucked up, and he even chuckles.
It was in so passing too. He was just like, seems like they've been especially cruel to you.
Yeah, and then Viserys even kind of like yes.
Good one.
They're like, yes, they have, obviously. Look at me, I'm fucking falling off. Parts of me are fucking falling off. So so he basically tells David, "Oh, come home. It's done, come home." And Damon's like, "No, I have a home. My home is in Pentos, and so is my daughter's home." And he's like, "Come on, Daemon. There's nothing there for you here." And he's like, "Oh no, you need family," is what he says. And he goes, "I need nothing." And he goes to walk away. And he's walking away, and Otto goes to stop him. And I think Otto was actually trying to be sincere, even though Daemon was a major dickbag about his wife, probably many times, but I think at least once or twice while we watched. He goes to give his condolences. I'm sorry to hear about your lady wife, and he's fucking Damon's just not even having it. Not even whether it's fake or not. Daemon assumes it's fake and just fucking shuts it down halfway through. He's like, funny how the slug gets.
Even as Leech gets fatter, it still hungers for more.
Yeah, it still hungers for more, even though it's fat as fuck. Meaning, no matter how big you get, you're still gonna kiss ass and fucking. Get the fuck out of my face. And he walks off onto the beach all pissed off. So then the king and Rhaenyra follows, which is not thought out.
Kind of a rush. She
before that, yes, she tells her kids to go to bed, but before she leaves, the drunks start getting gathered up because the king goes to leave and he goes, "Okay, I'm off to bed. Emma," he says.
Yeah.
To Alicent.
Emma.
Alicent.
And the Lord Commander behind him goes, should I tend to Queen Alicent? Kind of like pointing out, like you just sit down and he goes, pauses. no, Sir Harlan or Harland or whatever his name is. And then he goes, Sir Kristen, you have the Night's Watch.
Yeah, and he's like, Lord Commander, and Kristen even looks pissed on her behalf. Allison she doesn't look pissed. She actually looks surprised and almost a little concerned.
Like, oh fuck!
Like he's really gone, and like,
and he hasn't named my kids.
Yeah, my kid. Like my father was right. He's fucking not long. He's not got long left. So then they start running up the drunks. Okay, obviously the king's fucking senile or drunk. Who cares? We're gonna say that he was drunk and use this as an excuse to gather everybody.
Yeah.
Well, then they look out. Laenor's out in the fucking ocean, just waiting out there, drunk as shit, sad.
Crying like a little.
So, and then Corus gets pissed because it's in front of everybody. Like, he's supposed to be here talking to people, mourning with his family and his children. He's out there whining like a fucking sensitive boy.
The heir to all this shit.
Yeah, and he's out there being sensitive. We get it, you're sensitive, but they don't get it. They're not supposed to get it. So he goes up and
Quarrel,
and in front of everybody, which is all, everybody's really stupid politically in this episode. Really stupid. Open about everything. They're just not paying attention because their emotions are running high, I guess. But he just grabs Quarrel. Go get your ward.
Your patron.
Oh, your patron. And then he's like,
basically, eat your fuckboy out of the ocean.
Yeah, go get my son who fucks you out of the ocean. And everybody's like, even Quarrel's looking around like, do you realize what you did?
turns around like, what the fuck?
Like, and then he looks like, do you realize? He's like, of course. And he goes to go get him.
But he's like confused, like, why would you?
In front of everybody, like, okay, like I haven't even talked to you about the fact that me and your son are thing. Like, we've never spoken. So it's a big tension thing. And then you see Aemon, like Dee was saying, comes up. He's all,
not Aemon.
Aegon, I'm sorry. So he's shithoused on the stairs. Otto sees that, kind of looks around like, oh my god, is anybody seeing the prince?
Kicks his fucking ass.
Kicks him in the ass and just fucking drags him up like an uncle would, to a nephew. Kind of like, get your shit together. Do you realize who you are? And
drags him up like
off to bed.
Collar or whatever.
Off to bed, and then it's, okay, it's bedtime for everybody. So Rhaenyra says, off to bed to her kids. She sneaks down the beach in front of everybody. Again, dumb political move. Off after Daemon, which is, she's been eye fucking each other the whole time. Anyway.
Not even each other. She was
eyeballing.
She's like walking on the outskirts of the funeral, just staring at even when he was talking to his brother, just staring him down.
Oh, the whole time.
She was on the prowl.
Oh yeah, she was definitely on the prowl.
Well, as we well know from Rhaenyra, she gets what she wants. She does her fucking thing.
She does her thing. So then, basically, Aemon takes that moment to kind of look and realizes, okay, well, everybody's preoccupied with my drunk-ass brother and my crazy dad. He slinks off to another side of the beach where he's been paying attention to the dragons and where they are and whatnot. So then...
Meanwhile, Rhaenyra and Daemon are having their little convo.
Yeah, Rhaenyra and Daemon go down the beach and they're basically talking. She's like, she's trying to feel out how sad he is about his wife. She's like, well, were you happy? And he's like, we were happy enough, kind of thing.
Which, not really. Like, she wanted to come back, and he was trying to keep it chill
free
and
life.
Pentos.
It was kind of like an understanding. Like, we're attracted to each other. We're cool with this, but we're not.
We have
committed.
kids. We'll keep it together for the children.
Yeah, but we're going to do our own thing when it comes down to it. And obviously she did, right? But then she kind of goes, well, you left me. He's like, what did you expect? You were a child. She's like, yeah, I was a child, and I needed you.
Well, I need you the most is when you left.
When you left, everything was going to shit, and everybody expected so much of me. I needed your help and your guidance and whatnot. And he's like, sorry, kind of thing, and like, but I'm here now, and then it's fucking bam.
Yeah, it's a little awkward for a second, and then it's just like...
So they try to get past the awkward part, and they do it as tastefully as possible. A lot more tastefully than they do a lot of stuff in Game of Thrones.
Sure.
Kind of like they did with Arya, where it's like, okay, we're going to show that she's a woman, and there's sexuality, but we're going to tone it down as much as possible so it's not grossing you out.
Daemon took his shirt off, but his pants stayed on.
And her dress only got pulled up.
Yeah.
and it
And
didn't
there's
show.
some thigh and some stomach, but that was about it.
Yeah, and because they are related, so it's very like people are like, whoa, okay,
Yeah.
we understand they're in love, and this was
We already
a
watched him
different time.
We already watched him spin a 14 around like he was gonna
Yeah, we already watched the uncomfortable part. We don't
bowl
need to
those
really,
a China cover.
which is awkward that they showed that more freely than the adult actress. But
Well,
whatever.
it was all laced up.
Yeah, it was above the waist, Dad. I swear to God. So basically, right? They fool around, crawl underneath a broken down ship or whatever, and they have their business. And right after that, it shows Eamon, and he's sneaking around the beach, and he finds.
And I thought he was watching them like old Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it looked like we were gonna have a Bran situation
No.
because, like, oh fuck, he's gonna find out that his sister is humping his uncle.
No, his.
That is his sister. That's his half
Yeah,
sister.
his half sisters.
My half sister.
His half uncle.
His uncle. His uncle.
Yeah.
So their uncle. And that's a big political, he got a lot to say. I mean, because Targaryens do that, but it wouldn't have been official at that point. So it would have been like, whoa, they're having an affair. And
if she's just so willy-nilly about sex, maybe those aren't her kids.
Yeah, divorce wasn't a thing. It was like,
Luckily,
you got your head cut off.
Luckily, he wasn't peeking at all.
You want a divorce back then, you chopped her head off.
Yeah.
Like, we don't grant divorces. She has to be dead. Okay.
Which comes up later.
So he finds Vagar, and he sneaks up, and that dragon is on him, like, quick. And he knows, though. The kid's been paying attention in class. He's smart. He knows all the Valyrian words to calm him down, and then he goes to get a little closer. The dragon still gets fucking up.
It rears up with fire.
It rears up, opens its mouth. You can see the fucking burn. It reminds me of the Deadlights in Stephen King's It.
It kind of bugs me, though, because like the dragons are supposed to shoot two chemicals that create fire, and for it to be glowing down there already, like, that's a little weird.
Is it two chemicals, or is that...
That's how dragons are supposed to work.
Theoretically.
I don't know if George R. R. Martin got scientific about his dragons.
Yeah, he should have called fucking DeGrasse Tyson about that and fucking got the fucking business.
They did it right in Reign of Fire. That's all I know.
There you go. So he, again, calms the dragon down, okay? Then he just goes for it. He climbs up, sits on, and then that dragon recognizes that somebody's trying to ride him. And I don't know if the dragon was testing him to see if he was worthy. You mentioned before to me about dragons, like, it being a bonding thing. So, because what happens is the dragon just fucking takes off. He kind of tells it to go, and the dragon kind of like looks at him kind of weird, and then it starts running, and he's like, okay, and he's still thinking this is going to be normal. And then once it actually takes off, then it's like whoosh, and it fucking bolts straight to the air, and he's fucking feet dangling off the fucking side. Oh, you can hear him screaming,
flapping.
Fucking got some balls, dude. Because I think about that like heights wise, and just.
And it's still climbing, and he like reaches up and like gets his hands on
the horn,
the actual horn, and pulls himself into the saddle.
And then it fucking gets down, and then it just fucking boom
dives.
Kamikaze dives to the ocean, and then he just pulls, and then swooshes up to where its back feet just a little bit, and its tail kind of drags all the way through the water, and then back up.
And then he does it again.
And
this time he's in control.
And he's in control, and he's flying around, and it shows the princesses, Rhaenyra's daughters, or Laena's daughters, I'm sorry, waking up and go, what the hell?
Well, they actually wake up and see it run off.
Yeah, and they're like, someone's stealing Vagar, their mother's dragon. And that's not cool. Rhaela and Baela are the daughters' names. I think Baela is the one that was supposed to inherit her. Anyway, they think they're getting stolen. It's getting stolen. They're freaking out. And then Rhaenyra wakes up, all as disheveled as they'll show you, and kind of goes out. You're thinking Daemon went fucking full pimp style. It was just like,
bounce out, yeah.
Like, thank you. Fun. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. But that's not the case. He stuck around. She sneaks out of the little broken ship, and she sees him looking up to the sky at Vagar, his recently deceased wife's dragon, the biggest of them all, fucking just riding it. Somebody's riding it. And dragons, just like Dee says, just don't let you ride them.
Yeah.
You can't just
It's
go
it's a bond.
Yeah.
They stick it out with their rider.
Until that rider's dead or they're dead.
Yeah.
So it's Damon understands and kind of looks, and she's like, "Who did it?" And then he's like, he kind of has no idea. Nobody does at this point.
For a look of wonder.
Then it just shows fucking the dragon come in and fucking just land on, and the kid doesn't know what he's doing, so he just lands it in a very
He just crushes like the funeral spot almost where everybody was hanging out earlier.
yeah, where everybody was hanging out, almost flowers and shit, just fucking kind of crash lands it there, and starts walking in, and the little girls come out.
I think
upset.
it's worth mentioning in the book. There's not the whole interaction with the dragon as much as the girls see him approaching Vagar, so he just books it up the motherfucker.
Oh.
Because he notices he got sighted.
Uh-huh.
He's like, I gotta fucking do this.
I gotta claim it before they do.
Yeah, before they stop me.
It kind of does a little more honestly in the episode.
Yeah.
So he walks up, and they're like, "It's Vagar," or it's
him.
It's Eamon.
No, they say it's him, and he goes, "It's
me." And they're like, "That's my mother's dragon."
Shit.
Cocky. His nervousness, his quietness, the good kid, the good son,
who was picked on by all the other cousins and his own brothers.
Don't pick on the little albino kid in school, all right? Because he might get a dragon someday, and then it's fucking on. He comes in fucking confident, fucking tough, because he's just fucking got the biggest dragon, and rode it like a boss.
Yeah, it's his name.
So the little girl goes, "That's my mother's dragon. Your mother's dead. I was to claim him." "Well, then you should have claimed him." She gets angry and goes to push him.
He goes, "You should have claimed him. Maybe your cousins can find you a pig. It would suit you."
And she goes to push him, and he pushes her. That sends Jace over the edge. He attacks. They start punching each other, whatnot. They all start kind of attacking him.
He kind of lays out all of them one at a time. Basically.
Yeah, he's basically knocking them all down and then he grabs the one, Jace, and he says, "You'll burn like your father."
And he grabs Lucas.
Oh, yeah.
Lucius. I don't know how you say his name. It's Luke.
Yeah. "You'll burn like your father."
He goes, "My father's still alive."
"My father's still alive." And then the
Looks
other,
at Jace.
Jace is walking up, and he looks at Jace and goes, "Oh, he doesn't know. Does he, Lord Strong?" And then Jace fucking, at that point, flips out, tackles him to the ground. The knife then falls. Because he's the one that had the knife at first.
No, that was so they get the little advantage where all of the kids kind of on top of him, just hitting them kind of like bitches, but they're hitting him. Mm-hmm. And he fucking kicks one off, knocks the two together and throws them off, gets back up, grabs the rock, and has little Lucas and says the whole, "You burn like your father." And, he doesn't know.
Jace pulls the knife.
Yeah, and Jace pulls the knife.
Goes to attack him.
Throws the kid off to the side, fucks Jace up, the knife falls.
And then Lucas gets a hold of the knife.
And he has the rock.
And he's about to smash Jace.
He's about to hit Lucas, I think. And that's when Lucas is like crawling around and grabs the knife, and Jace sees that he grabs the knife.
Throws dirt in his face.
Hits Eamon with the dirt in the face, and then Lucas fucking
up his fucking
and
eye.
somewhere in there, he says, "I'll burn you with my dragon," or something like that.
Yeah,
maybe it's when he says, "You'll die in flames like your father."
You bastards.
Yeah, I think
he calls
maybe
them
one of the
bastards.
girls he says, "I'll burn." No, if one of you come at me again, I'll burn you with my dragon or something.
Yeah,
like
something like
he's
that.
He's a cocky little bitch now.
Yeah, he's a fucking arrogant little bastard.
Yeah,
but he fucking lost his eyeball. Then it shows Sir Harlan come out. "Oh, my prince, stop this!" He separates all the kids. "My prince," because that's obviously the kid that's in the most pain, but also his first priority. Son. So it shows him, and he's like, "Oh, gods be good." And then it just immediately shows the king laying into Kristen and him. "What the fuck? How the fuck did this happen? You both swore an oath to protect my blood. How the fuck?" And Sir Kristen's like, "The princes attacked each other. The Night's Watch hasn't had to deal with princes fighting princes." He's like, "That's not a fucking answer as to how this fucking happened." And then he's like, "They attacked me. He attacked Bela." And then it's like,
accusations
back and forth. And then it shows all the parents coming in. What the hell is going on here? Rhaenyra's like, what's going on? And the little boy whispers, he called us bastards. She's like this. Oh, just basically, it's all upsetting. And he says, they called us bastards. He goes, who? And then Rhaenyra basically says, my sons were forced to defend themselves because vile accusations were thrown at them. And he goes, what accusations? And she goes, my son's leniency was called into question.
My son's heritage.
My son's heritage was called into question. My son's had to inherit the Iron Throne. This is the highest form of treason. And Prince Aemon should be questioned thoroughly, intensely questioned to find out where he heard such slanders.
Yeah. And
Alicent just loses it over an insult. Like, he lost an eye.
Yeah.
And basically he's like, okay, boy, where did you hear this insult? Who told you this insult? The boy looks right at Alicent, but doesn't say anything. Viserys the king notices, looks right at Alicent, but he can't even fucking bring it up until it's said publicly, because he knows that if he does, he's going to have to deal with it. Because even the king has to put his wife in line to show his strength, right? So even he's looking at her like, knowing that it's her, but Aemon's smart and like, Aegon. He throws his dick-headed older brother, who's always been a dick, under the bus, and Aegon's over there
drunk at the time.
Like sobering up violently, he's probably still drunk, obviously still drunk because it's only like 4 a.m, right? And he's been dragged out of bed, made to get dressed, and he's sitting there like,
she's like, me,
and then fucking. And the king obviously has less patience for him because he's not
as the king can go.
Yeah, and she. Oh, by the way, Alicent smacks the shit out of him, finding out where he was. Where were you? And he's like, "What? I was asleep. You know that hurt. You're hitting me." She's like, "That's nothing compared to what happened to your son while you were drowning in your cups, you fool." So the king's obviously a lot less lenient with him. He's not hurt. The king walks up to him. He's just like, "And you, boy, where did you hear it?" He's like, we know, Father. Everyone knows. And he's like,
just look at them.
Just look at them. And the king's just like, all this infighting has to stop. We're a family. Like, enough.
Say your goodwill.
Yeah, say your goodwills. Be done with it. That's the end. And Alicent's like, that's unsatisfactory. You know, our son has lost an eye. He's your son, Viserys. And she's like crying, obviously. And he's like, I know, Alicent, but what would you have me do? I can't restore his eye, right? And she's like, what did she say? Then I shall have her. Shall have her boy's eye as well.
A debt is still owed.
Oh yeah, debt is to be paid. I shall have her boy's eye as well. She says, Sir Kristen, bring me the eye of.
Whichever he chooses.
Something he didn't afford my son. A choice he didn't afford my son. Bring me the eye of Valerian, the boy Valerian.
The kids are freaking out.
The kids are freaking out, and Rhaenyra steps in front of you. Will do such thing, and she's like, the king yells, stay your hand, and she's like, no. She interrupts the king, even yells, and is like, you're sworn to me. And Kristen, smart as he's smart enough to know, I'm not your, first of all, I'm not your hitman. He says that basically. He's like, as your sworn protector, my queen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not your
sworn to protect you, not your ordered hand.
Yeah, I'm not ordered to fucking be your muscle and go fucking maim kids.
Yeah.
Because your kid got maimed. Like, I get it. I'm on your side, but.
I'm not the mountain.
Yeah. and even if I manage to pull that off, I ain't walking out of here alive. I'm not even going to get across the room.
Right.
So, he's smart enough to realize that, Alice, and then the king goes right up to Alicent. Don't let your anger cloud your judgment.
Oh, you guide your
judgment.
Yeah.
He's like, so just, be done with it. He goes to walk away. She's just like, no. She grabs the fucking dagger. And then he's like, to your king.
Dagger.
The famous dagger. To your king, the people yell, And Otto, you can hear him going, Alicent! Right off the bat. And Sir Kristen goes to fucking protect her because now he can react. Now the queen's in mortal danger because she's wielding a weapon and shit's going down. Damon shuts that down like a boss. Just walks up, and he doesn't even get violent. He just kind of holds his hand against his chest, like.
I think even the Lord Commander.
Well, they get up
yells to him like, "Fucking, hold your hand or hold your fist or whatever."
Yeah, like you better.
Damon stop. And you're right. No effort towards it.
He
just
kinda,
like catches him. He's like,
well,
no.
he kind of looked at him like, no, like think about it, and then just for enough time to the other guys to grab him by the arms.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like, think about what you're doing here. We're not gonna let you do that.
Yeah.
Let it be. Like that's my niece, and I'm not
sets
worried
her
about.
hair at the throne.
Yeah,
I'm
like
just gonna go fuck her up.
Well, that
your little
yeah,
bitch queen.
Well, that and my niece is the one that doesn't even have the weapon, and I'm not even intervening, which means you're not going to.
Yeah.
And she's holding it. There's an epic picture right there of them just fucking eye to eye, looking so angry. Allison is so angry, and she's just like. Rhaenyra yells at her, "You've gone too far." And Allison's like, too far doing what? Doing my duty to my kingdom, to the family, doing everything that was ever asked of me, no matter what.
Yeah.
While you just do whatever the hell you
flaunt the fact that you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, and all
where's the sacrifice?
Yeah, where's the sacrifice?
Where's the fucking suffering?
Yeah, where's your sacrifice? It's trampled under your pretty foot again. Even my son's eye. And then now you take my son's eye, and even to that you feel justified.
Feels entitled.
Yeah, feel entitled.
And that's when she says the perfect line back to her. She's like, "It must have been so hard hiding behind your facade." I don't know.
Yeah,
Exactly
cloak of self-righteousness.
Yeah.
She's like, now they see you for what you really are.
Yeah.
And Allison just is like, at that moment, I think the reason why she cuts her is actually
Rhaenyra gave up.
Yeah.
I think Rhaenyra, after she got her word in, was like, now I'm going to let them see what you do.
Yeah,
and
then
just let's go.
at
And
a
she's still
holding it
forward. Yeah.
And then it's like.
And now Rhaenyra can go, I was struck. Like, I'm the victim.
Yeah, I'm the one that was calm.
Yeah.
Because she didn't hear nobody heard what she said.
I don't know if it was, I think they might have.
Not a lot of them. Not the whole room.
Okay, but it wasn't whispered either.
Okay. Well, but not the whole room. Allison.
And that's why I think it was like a game, like a good move for her to say that. Now they see you as you really like. Some people heard her go, now people.
But but also like the people in the back of the room, they heard Allison for sure.
Yeah.
They heard her rambling like a crazy person about duty and this and that.
That's true. It was a little quiet on Rhaenyra's side.
Yeah, so it's just, and then like you said, she just let go. Kind of like the force is going to get it, and then it's, because then Allison looks as the one that's like, they both, obviously Rhaenyra looks shocked, but it's almost like on purpose, like to make a play.
She's like, look at what was done.
Like, oh my God.
And Allison's so shocked that she drops the dagger.
Drops the dagger. Like, Allison is legitimately shocked for sure.
Like,
Rhaenyra's might be an act.
She didn't mean to do it.
Yeah, Rhaenyra's might be an act to be like, look what this bitch just did to your fucking future queen. Allison's was more like, what the fuck did I just do? Like, I can't believe I just fucking lost my shit.
And then
in front of everybody.
Kristen go and he walks up next to her and picks up the dagger.
And they just they stand there, and then it shows the best. The parting of the fucking families, the sides have been drawn.
Walks up next to her and the kids. You got Corlys and all of the fucking Driftmark, like, family army, whatever, behind them.
And then you got Viserys, who's just kind of there, but with Otto, Alicent, Sir Criston, the Night's Watch. Basically, the Greens against the Blacks. And it's a fucking battle lines are drawn, and it's fucking a epic shot. Very, very awesome way to do it. To show both of them, they're just kind of like staring off at each other. And then the king walks up and is just like, this business is at an end. And then just walks away.
And then Aemon walks up to his mom.
Yes.
Fucking cut and scarred.
And she's just still looking shocked.
Mother, don't mourn me.
It was a fair trade.
It was a fair trade. I lost an eye. But I gained a dragon.
And Otto just sits there with a smirk, like, almost like he didn't think of it till that moment.
Yeah, like proud, like, oh shit.
Like, my grandson is a little fuck.
Yeah.
Like, no shit, my daughter's got, my daughter's showing potential, now my grandson, but the other one's a drunk idiot. This one.
They need to kill off the older son.
Yeah, like this one might be.
Betrothed the younger to the daughter.
Yeah, this younger one might be the way to go. Like, okay. Because then, it cuts away. And it's just, it shows the queen, Alicent, just sitting by the fire. Knock at the door. The hand's here to see you. He walks in, all somber, quiet, nods at the handmaidens. They leave. Door closes. And she just goes right into, say your piece. And he's like, and what piece is that? It's like, how I behaved as someone below my station. I lost my temper. I assaulted the princess. And how everybody's talking about how crazy I am out there.
And I solidified my husband's
love for her. I guaranteed my husband's favor will go to her for the rest of his life now.
over me.
Yeah. And that and everybody's probably already talking that I'm crazy. And he's like, all true. But I'm proud of you. And she's like, it was disgusting. I hated that part of me. He's like, I didn't even know it existed. You've finally shown that we play. She's like, it's an ugly side of myself. And he's like, we play an ugly game. And until now, I didn't know you had the determination to win.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're like, I'm proud of you. He's like, he walks. He's like, she's like, but Rhaenyra, and he's like, you know what she is. You've seen what the king has done by being lazy and complacent to her all these years, and how she does make a mockery of our family and court and all that. Because when you look at it from their perspective, they're being sneaky to get what they want. But in reality, Alicent has been pushed. Alicent tried to be on her side.
Well, in reality, Rhaenyra is just kind of fucking around, like,
well, no,
following the wedding rules.
Like, I get Otto has always been a dick, but Alicent legitimately was like making the best of a bad situation. Okay, I have to marry the king. I have to be her stepmom. I'm trying to be friends with everything.
To have more
and then
children.
after all these years of Rhaenyra just fucking spitting in her face, she's finally just lost her temper. It seems like.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Like, fuck. And then that's how and her husband's dying, so now she's worried. Now I've got to get aggressive because this bitch might just cut me out.
And she goes like, what do you think he'll do? And he's like, he'll forgive you.
Yeah, just
Go
play
the part.
Act like it was your son, and you lost your shit because you're a mother who
Mock
loves
it up to your son being maimed.
Mm-hmm. And
then
he's just
fine.
fine.
We'll ride this out and we'll win.
Yeah, and we'll win this game. And she's just like looking so confused and
And
terrified.
he also says to her,
he
says,
the rogue prince is smart. He goes.
He's right.
He's like, he's right. That dragon is worth 10,000 times what he paid. Bringing that dragon to our side is change things.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Because when they leave, right after this, they leave to go back to King's Landing. Vhagar goes with.
Yeah, he
like
follows.
Dee said, they are loyal. So once Aemon claimed him, that's obviously, and they say claim in the episode, it's a thing. Like, okay, that dragon's...
Aegon has one.
Yeah, so now they have, Aegon has one and Aemon has one.
Yeah.
And they are...
is Aegon a rider yet, though?
Aegon is a rider. I don't know if they let the kids ride him yet. I think
that's
they
what I'm saying. Is I don't think he's a rider. He's learning.
No.
He's got a dragon,
and he's learning the words.
but he's not riding.
He's learning the words.
Whereas Aemon is riding.
Yeah, and he's not getting them little baby dragons that have been hatching lately. He's got fucking grandmama of them all.
Yeah.
So it's a very big get for the Hightower folks.
For the Greens.
Yeah, for the Greens, that's a pretty big get. And so then it shows them taking off to King's Landing, and Vhagar's going with. And Sir Larys, Littlefoot, comes up to the Queen and says, "Oh, the thing about the eye, basically, if one wants eye for retribution, I'd be happy to help." And she's like, basically, like scared of what he will do. Like he really will, and I have been one that's publicly asked for it. So if the kid just shows up missing an eye back home by whatever accident you make happen, everyone's going to know. That one's a little too, maybe 10 years down the road.
Yeah, it's too obvious right now.
It's a little too early to, like, this happened 6 hours ago. Maybe give it some time.
Right.
But she's like, but it's good to know that you're loyal. And it's good to know I have a friend like that I can call upon, which I surely will need to.
Coming, it will.
I surely will need to in the times coming, I fear. So it shows Princess Rhaenyra talking to Laenor, and he's sad, still, and he's basically saying, "Sorry, I haven't been good to you. I haven't been proper to you. I tried. I'm sorry that God's made me this way." She's like, "I wish I could have had your children. The few times we did try." So obviously it is said that they did try.
Yeah, and he vows to her too. He says,
basically, I won't.
Carl's going off to keep fighting the stepstones and shit, and I'm not gonna go with I
committing myself to you
too long. You deserve a husband and a father to child. I'd like to give you a child.
Let's make these
questions
stop.
Let's do it for real.
Yeah, let's do it for real and make these questions stop. And she's like, "It's okay," and he's like, "Because I hate God for making me this way," and she's like, "It's okay, I don't." you're sweet, you're good, you're a good man, an honest man. That's rare.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you are the way
Most men of your stature are not.
Yeah, or just take what they want with no regard of anything, right?
Feel entitled to it, yeah.
So then it shows her and Damon talking, and she's basically saying, your wedding is over, mine is a sham. They were of the salt, we are of the sea. It was a good idea.
No, they were of the sea and the salt.
Yeah.
We are of fire.
We are of the fire, yeah. We burn bright. We burn brighter together. We tried it, we did our thing. You have pure Valerian children, all that. But I need your help. I need you to strengthen. It'll strengthen our claim to the throne because I have enemies now, and it's very apparent.
Yeah.
I need you, and we can do this together. We're stronger together. And they've obviously always kind of had a thing. He's always had an attraction to or a soft spot for her, because even in the first episode, he brings her the Valerian steel necklace and all that.
Yeah. Also, he asks Viserys to wed them.
Were wed before, without her even knowing that that was a thing that he asked for.
Yeah.
So she basically has the same proposition to him: marry me. Let's do this. In the old Targaryen tradition, like Aegon did with his sisters. Let's be as strong as we can, be married together, and rule together.
And he's like,
to do that, Laenor would have to be dead.
Yeah.
Like my wife's dead. And she's like, I understand. I love Sir Laenor, but it's what we have to do. And she's like, do you understand we would be robbing Sir Corus and Lady Rhaenys of their only remaining child? He's like, yes. And during this time when they're talking, you just hear him talking in the background.
Cue the fucking
death murder in the hallway.
Well, it reminded me of remember when the Sept blows up in the old series?
Oh yeah, and all these different things are cutting together.
Yeah, it's the music.
Yeah, ominous
and
music.
And then the random, well, not random, but the different things are all leading up to this big ass moment or whatever.
Yeah.
So you got fucking
a random
Damon
person
stopping Carl under some docks.
Oh no, yeah, they're talking across.
Saying you're a lowly knight, but you got very high taste for.
Yeah, like you got fancy clothes, but you're a knight.
You
got fancy taste. And he's like, yeah, the prince has been pretty good to me. He's like, yeah, but he's always kind of looked down on you, right? There's places across the narrow sea where it doesn't matter what your name is or where you come from. It just matters how much money you have. And then he just kind of fucking grabs his hand and goes. And it's deeply implied, like, oh shit, is he just hired Laenor's lover to kill him?
Right.
Let's say that 5 times fast.
And it cuts to fucking some stairs in
a guard or
hall somewhere in Driftmark. Damon fucking cracks some
Assassin Creed style
neck.
Just pops out.
Yeah. And then
it shows them continuing to talk. Like I love Sir Laenor, but it's it's important that we do this. And then it shows weddings.
And they're talking also. They're saying like, people will suspect that it was us or whatever. And Damon goes,
"Good, let them.
They need to be. So you can be loved as much as you want, respected, but if you're not feared,
it means for nothing.
Yeah, you're not gonna win this fucking.
So we have
with these players that are out there.
Yeah, we have to be vicious. We have to show that we're vicious.
Yeah.
Even if we're really not.
Right.
So then it shows Laenor walk into the hall and Sir Coral's
obviously
there.
In on it. We find out.
Yeah,
later.
we find out. Coral's sitting there, and he's just sitting there. And then there's a little squire with Sir Laenor, and Laenor's like, "What are you doing in my father's hall?"
How'd you get in here?
And he goes, "You've always thought you were better than me."
Always look down on me.
And he pulls out his sword and goes to attack Laenor, and Laenor's like, "You forget your place." The little squire panics. "Oh, I'll go get the cards. I'll go get the cards." Totally fell for it. Cuts away to.
And it's got Laenor holding getting pressed on.
And it shows his necklace.
And his back is at the fireplace.
Yeah, and his back is at the fireplace. You clearly see his necklace that has his sigil on it. Then it shows them doing some sort of it's only small cuts of Rhaenyra in a certain kind of garb and a big crown. And Damon
in a similar looking similar garb.
Yeah, and they're cutting each other's hands and lips
and
blood.
Yep,
and basically a Targaryen wedding ceremony. Their kids are there. It's smoky. Obviously, they're doing it Dragonstone, I would guess.
There's a few cuts, but the credits end on their ceremony. But during that time,
you've seen little parts of the ritual.
Yeah, well, and we're also seeing what's happening with Laenor.
Yeah, all that cut together.
And then the Corlys Corliss comes running in with all of his guards.
It shows a
and
fire.
stuff.
It shows fire. It shows a body on top of a fire.
Well, no, yeah, because I thought originally when I saw that the kid comes running with the guards and Corliss, but the guards are already in there pulling him out of the fire.
And Corliss
comes running in. How the fuck did you let this happen?
It just shows
in my hall.
Yeah, it shows a blanket get pulled off.
And they
His
drag a
skull.
body out, and it's got the necklace.
And it's a skull was burnt. And
Rhaenys
just starts wailing. It's her son.
Yeah.
She just buried her daughter that day. That night, her son.
No, yeah, the night before she buried her daughter.
The night before she buried her daughter. The next night, her son's found in the fire, seemingly murdered by his lover, by all accounts, who's now disappeared. Corliss freaks out. How'd you let this happen in my fucking hall? Cut to more marriage ceremony / a boat on the ocean, right? It's out at sea. But
Wooden figures.
Running up to a little... One's already in the canoe, right?
Yeah, one of them's in the rowboat, and the other one's like, maybe pushed it off and is running.
And then it shows... It surely shows Coral first, so you know it's him.
It's like a back shot of him, but in the front, facing the camera, you see a guy take his hood off.
Yeah.
And it's Laenor, and his head shaved.
His white hair, which is obviously would know who he is by that, is gone, so he won't be recognized. They faked it all. They faked it all to give... So Rhaenyra's conversation with him continued with us not seeing it, about how she's like, no, I want you to go to the Stepstones, do what you want.
Yeah.
But you're going to make it...
live your life
But you can never come back, basically.
Yeah.
If you want to go do that, you can't come back and be the Lord of Driftmark or my prince. Like, we're going to make you dead.
Or even, anything, basically.
You cannot come back to the Seven Kingdoms
alive.
Or I'm going to kill you.
Everything's in question now.
Yeah, and I will kill you then.
Yeah.
So your best bet is, you want to live your free life, your boy-loving life, I'm cool with it. But you're going to have to stay away
They'll do it where they're okay
what
with
I have here now is very dependent on you being dead.
Yeah. And that's in the end, like you said, credit ends on them finally kissing or whatever at the end of their ceremony.
And the kids are there.
Yeah.
And what I liked, and I saw this, and I didn't notice this was credited to somebody on Facebook, that in the final image, one of the final images when they're kind of embraced and kissing, Rhaenyra is higher up, holding her head high and proud like a queen. And Daemon is lowering his.
She even tells him when they're doing conversation, "You'll be my prince consort" or something like that. Like, she's gonna be the.
I'm not gonna give you my throne, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not inviting you to my bed.
I'm bringing you in. I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah, I'm bringing you in as close as you were ever gonna get.
Yep.
So, but I'm still in charge.
I can't wait, dude. I'm hoping for Dragon Battles next episode.
I haven't watched the trailer yet. I'm scared to, but I have seen an image that clearly looks like there's a time jump because it looks like Aemon with a fucking eye patch.
I've already seen that, and I also saw one where the other kids look like they've different actors too, or whatever. Because it looks like there's a fight that breaks, like a fist fight between the Greens and the Blacks of the kids and the Greens of Aegon, Aemon, and Jace and Luke.
Sunday. Fun day. Here we come.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
3 episodes left. And we're done at 30%. So I don't think things shut off. So. That's all, folks.
We love you. Good fight.
Good night.